Welcome in to a special edition of the JTS After Dark show. As always, I'm your owner and host, Justin Jackson, and we have a few additional friends to the JTS show this evening. Of course, we have T-Mel and Jai as always, but we also have Chris from CS Move Gaming, and we have our guy Duffin. I'm not even about to say that.
Hey, come on! It's not difficult, bro. Go ahead, say it.
No, I refuse.
That's pure
hate. Real.
What's going on today, Jackson?
Anyway, we have our NFL mock draft special. We're doing a round robin style special. We've all been pre-assigned teams based on a random selection. That was truly random, actually. We're gonna go. Yeah, we have the footage. We have the footage of the randomizer happening. And we are going to go in order 1 through 5, and then we'll start the order over, so on and so forth. Each drafting for our own teams. A few draft rules: there are no trades, and you cannot throw a itch fit too heavily on the pick. And the person will be allowed to defend their pick. So if there's an objection, you will be allowed to defend their pick and why. If there's no objections, that person will talk about it, and then we'll move on to the next pick. Cool. All right, so any questions, gentlemen, outside of the rules, outside of the basic stuff?
Nah, man, I'm ready to
get it going,
man.
All right.
Oh.
I mean, hey, man.
Okay, so I forgot. One fall twin, forgot 4 hours.
The NFL draft is officially open.
With the number 1 overall pick, the Tennessee Titans are on the clock, and the person that is selecting that pick is Jai, of course.
All right, man. So, Jackson kind of explained it. We are playing GM, although I do want this to be somewhat realistic, and all signs point towards that the Tennessee Titans will be selecting a quarterback. However, I really thought about taking Travis Hunter at this pick, or Abdul Carter, but the Tennessee Titans, they did invest in wide receiver last year with Calvin Ridley and gave L'Jarius Sneed a big contract, so no real need for Travis Hunter. They did lose Harold Landry, so I do think that Abdul Carter would fit here, but the lack of depth at the quarterback position right now, I believe the only quarterback on the roster is Will Levis, and you just can't go into a season with Will Levis being your only quarterback on the roster. I mean, like, even the Colts was like, let me go get Daniel Jones. So,
yeah.
With that being said, with the first pick of the JTS draft, we're taking Cool as a Cucumber, Cam Ward.
Good pick.
I think that's like the consensus too. Like most people think that he gonna go number 1.
Yeah, it would be very shocking if anything but that happens at 1.
Yeah.
All right, with the second overall pick, almost. With the second overall pick, that would be T-Mel. He has the Cleveland Browns pick. He is officially on the clock.
And I'm about to be off the clock. Didn't take too much thought out of this one. I see the Browns taking Abdul Carter, edge rusher, only because, I mean, I thought about quarterback, but I don't see the Browns drafting a rookie. They, spent most of their franchise of me being alive taking a first round pick on a rookie, and I just don't see it. So
Abdul Carter is off the board.
This is kind of crazy because it's like, I don't know. I expected Travis Hunter.
So
just gave Myles Garrett $140 million.
I think it was Myles Garrett already threw a fit of, I want to leave and win. Yeah, he really wanted a bag. He got it, but let's be honest, what's really stopping him from, I mean, he can throw fits and sit out till he get traded. So I say go with Abdul Carter. And plus, let's just say he does stay. You going against Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow twice a year.
Makes sense.
You got to get after the quarterback. And honestly, I don't see, I mean, I really thought about going Shador here, but them getting Shador right now isn't going to make much of a difference when them playing, Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow twice a year. Because the most important positions on the field is quarterback, your offensive line, because you got to protect your quarterback,
And then your defense.
and your pass
Person
rush
who
because
hits
you
the
got to
quarterback.
get to the
Absolutely.
quarterback.
That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true.
Oh,
All right, so before the third pick is selected, there is a little bit of draft news. Came out a couple hours ago. The Giants and Shedeur Sanders worked out a last-minute private session in Boulder, Colorado. They had not had a meeting, and they not had a session with him before, not a private one, but they did make a private one with him a couple hours ago, and they will work out in Boulder prior to the NFL draft. That is the last workout Shedeur will have. Abdul Carter is visiting with the Giants, not the Giants. Yeah, the Giants very soon, or he had it already. But Shedeur and the Giants are meeting and having a private session in Boulder very soon. But with the third overall pick, with that Giants pick, we have Chris from CL Smooth Gaming.
All right. Well, T-Mel kind of threw a wrench in there with Abdul Carter. But
well, that I'm gonna let you pick first, but because you was about to make me mad. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go ahead and not overcomplicate it. I'm gonna take Travis Hunter with the third pick for the Giants because I mean, in my opinion, like I think the Giants just need at this point a spark. You got, taking a quarterback in this position, I don't think would suffice for them. They were just a team with just so many problems, and taking a guy like who could be a lockdown corner and a number one receiver at the same time, which I believe in him, by the way. I think he can do both. I absolutely think he can do both. And this would be a pretty big box office like pick for New York. So this would be perfect for them if they could get it.
With Joe Shane ass on the line, he gonna have to do both.
Him and Dayball, like that's another thing too.
Dayball not going anywhere, bro. Everybody know that
he's
Dayball's
safe.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like if
it's
he
not
has
Daboll's
another
fault for
terrible
New York.
season, at a certain point in time, you got to make some kind of a change. Even good coaches get fired.
At
just won
one
Coach of the
point,
Year 2 years
at
ago.
one point, his quarterback was Tommy DeVito, and people in New York was happy about that.
And they still won more games than the Commanders, the Patriots, the Titans twice. Like,
I mean, they got Russ and they got Jameis, so I think they decent at quarterback. They fine. They'll be all right. So Travis Hunter makes sense in this.
But before we move on, you said something. You said Tremel threw a monkey wrench. Were you seriously considering drafting Abdul Carter at this spot?
Yes.
Why?
really?
Why?
Yeah. Because
Even when they got Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau?
yes,
And
because at this point,
and Azeez Ojulari.
yes, because I'm thinking my philosophy is you can never have too much defense. Your defense can never be strong enough.
Whenever you can't score, it can.
That's Patriots.
Again, Russell Wilson could change that. We don't know how. Like a quarterback can change a lot. Just on, like a quarterback alone.
Not Seahawks. What was it? The Steelers had like the 20th ranked offense last year, and they have a better offense than the Giants.
They also line up in two tight ends a lot as if it was 1990. I mean, they weren't helping themselves schematically.
I think Brian Daboll is a slightly better offensive mind than
Russ is old and
Slightly?
fat.
actually. No, you're right. Not even slightly.
Russ is
Right.
old and fat, and then Jameis can't stop throwing turnovers.
Well, Jameis is irrelevant. I'm not.
Jameis actually delivered from pick sixes.
Look. All right, we're gonna go ahead and let you go, Jack, because we're gonna do grades on this first round of 5. So go ahead, Jack.
All right, I've been saying it for 2 months. I have not come off the pick. I wavered slightly for about an hour, maybe 2. But ever since this pick, ever since we landed at 4, because that last guy who ran our team decided to win the last game of the season, I have stated that this was. I was talking about Gerard Mayos, who I hope never gets another job again.
The Gerard Mayo slander. You're not gonna slander the first black coach.
Man had 1 year, bro.
That man had a horrible roster, horrible ownership, no support, and all the Boston radio heads. Y'all was using that shit to get racism off. And the only reason why he got fired, I'm not even playing. The only reason why he got fired was because Mike Vrabel was available and Robert Kraft fucked up. Robert Kraft should have hired Mike Vrabel the year before. Gerard Mayo could have been a bad coach, and he could have got done dirty. 2 things can be true. So no Gerard Mayo slander. On this
Gerard Mayo slander is definitely going to be allowed because
you can do that on the audio show, nigga. You can do that on the audio show, nigga. Yeah, I mean, hey,
I'm a slander in there too, and I have the Bengals pick as well. So Zach Taylor slander's coming.
That's warranted. That's warranted.
Spoiler alert: Zach Taylor slander's coming. But
yeah, you haven't noticed.
Getting to the pick
Is
itself,
it really a spoiler at this point?
It shouldn't be, but Will Campbell, offensive tackle out of LSU, is the pick here.
Baby
The pay,
arms.
the Patriots need an offensive line. We actually did a pretty good job of filling in most of the gaps. Tackle was something that we left available, and I think that the Patriots will go out and try to start here. He's the highest rated tackle in the draft. He probably wouldn't have been, but Kelvin Banks was injured. Um, but Campbell's the
Josh
highest
Simmons.
rated.
Josh
Josh
Simmons
Simmons,
also
who's
on
also
Ohio
injured.
State.
Who's also
But
injured.
I think honestly though, with the tape, Will Campbell could have been right there with them. Like I
He
know I
probably
joke
would have been
about
the
his
first
arms.
tackle anyway.
Yeah, I know I joke about his arms, but if you watch the tape, he's been the best tackle in college football.
It's
pretty
his
much
footwork
since
too.
Probably
It's
for
his
2
footwork.
years.
Like,
I
if
was
you
like,
watch
probably
his
for the last
footwork
2
is
years.
fine. He just got like a very narrow build. He built like a basketball player. So it's like
And he tries to. I think he has
narrow.
to work his overcompensation because he knows his arms are short, so he can get undercut on a quick rush move because he's trying to over kick step to make up for his short arms.
But
So
he's strong.
there's there's technique stuff. But worst kind of worst, he's an all-pro guard. All right, with the 5th overall pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Jacksonville Trevor Lawrences, we have Duffin with the overall
Okay.
pick.
Audience, before Duffin makes this pick, I just want you to know that while we were discussing the ramifications for the draft, Austin said, "Man, I hope can we modify how we do the draft? Because I mean, what if I get like Jacksonville or some shit? Why the
I don't
fuck
give a
would
fuck
I
about
know who's on
Jacksonville.
every? Then we need the randomizer.
No
He ain't just
bullshit.
give Jacksonville. All right, go ahead, Duffin.
Yeah, so as you can tell by that, elaborate thing that Jai just said, I really don't give a fuck about the Jaguars. But I will say though, personally, I think that based off of what happened in this Super Bowl, defensive line for a lot of people is going to be a point of emphasis. And to me, I think having someone that they could pair with Josh Allen, the other Josh Allen, on their defensive line would be good for them. I do think
That's
that
for
they
Allen
can have
Hines.
some value, in a DB as well. But I think taking one right now, I just don't think that would be the best move while they have someone like Mason Graham on the board. So that's who I'm gonna take for the Jags pick. I'm gonna take Mason Graham. He's a fucking bowling ball out of Michigan, I'd say. I guess the consensus is he's the best defensive tackle in the draft. Do I personally believe that? Not really. But for what he is at this point in the draft, I do think that he would be the best pick and the best pick for them. So I'm going to go ahead and take Mason Graham so they can have, a better defensive line, and he can be a bowling ball in the middle. He's a quick little white dude, and do I trust quick little white dudes as defensive
He's
tackles?
light.
Do
I
I?
thought he was
bright.
like on some Zach Bond stuff, like we really
He's
don't really
bright.
know. I was
He's
like,
bright.
we
I
wait
don't
till
know
the
if he's
draft
white,
and
but
then we
he's
see his
definitely bright.
parents.
I'm just saying, do I trust a white defensive tackle when there's other black defensive tackles that could be taken? I personally wouldn't do it, but I
who's
think
the best?
it'd be-
You say you didn't think he was the best. Who's the best?
That's what I'm saying. Okay, so who I think is the best personally, I am a big fan. And again, I wouldn't say necessarily, because let me rephrase, maybe not the best in the draft, but the best for my team and the best that I think would be a great asset to my team. I'm a big Kenneth Grant fan as well. I like him, and I also like Darius Alexander. I'm a fan of him. He's from Toledo, but he doesn't get a lot of hype because he's from Toledo, but I think he does a lot of good things, like a lot of great things. Also, Derek Harmon. If he just got better tackling, I think he's a great disruptor as well. So I think there's a lot of good defensive tackles.
That Walter Nolan was in the consideration.
How about that? I'm probably Walter Nolan.
He's very interesting, bro. I think he does, like, he's a great run stopper, but it's like his motor to me runs hot and cold. If he wants to put in the effort and get shit done, sure, he can do it. He has the ability to do it, but he may not want or have the effort every time to do it as far as run stopping and pass rushing. And I do think that's a little bit of a thing that he has to improve on. I feel like the other people that I mentioned are a little bit better at both. He's great at stopping the run, but I do think that he could be a better pass rusher. And for my team specifically, I don't know if I'd love to have him, but that's just a preference.
Okay, so before we move on to
Okay.
pick 6 through 11, I think
6 to 10.
thank you.
No problem.
Let's do some quick grades on the picks. We're gonna be your grade is gonna be a combination of player, fit, and order. Oh, if you would have taken this high. So these are pretty standard, but what do you guys give first overall pick? My pick.
A.
I gave it an A.
I give it an A.
A.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an A.
All right,
Yeah.
I'll boot all you niggas out of here and shut this shit down. Abdul Carter, what do you give?
C.
For the Browns, I'd give it a B.
C.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a B because it's like
I'll
it's
give it a
Abdul
C+.
Carter. That's great, but do I think that they could benefit from another position or another thing better? Yes, but
I give it a C plus.
C. Yeah. It's only I give it a C plus only because Abdul Carter's really, really good at football.
right.
Yes.
Other than that,
He is very good at
So it's not a bad pick, but it's a bad pick for them whenever Travis
Correct.
Hunter is.
Correct.
Giants. I give it A.
A. Yeah.
Yeah, I give it A.
The Giants could drive anything
he really
besides a
pinpoint
running back.
drafting a player that can be. He can come in day one and potentially be your best corner and receiver.
Exactly.
Yeah, and mind you, look, like I said, like
He's
honestly
not
for
gonna be the
that,
best receiver.
Yeah, he's not gonna be the best receiver.
he's not gonna be the best receiver. No.
Oh,
but
He
and,
was very
and,
receiver.
and,
I said
and,
potentially.
and
I said
while we're on
potentially.
LSU receivers, like just real
Malik
quick.
Neighbors is.
While we're on
I
LSU
said
receivers,
potentially
real
based off
quick,
who he went
wanna
to.
give- No, he's not. Not even potentially.
Bro, if he went to the Browns, bro, he'd be wide receiver one.
No.
Browns.
I thought you meant
Browns,
Giants.
not the Giants.
Oh
No,
no,
I
no,
thought
not
you
the
meant-
Giants. Just like based
Oh, in
off
general.
whoever took him.
Oh,
he
yeah,
has
okay,
the
okay.
potential to be
Yeah,
wide
okay.
receiver one.
Yeah, but while we
Yeah.
touched on Giants receivers, just want to send condolences to Kyron Lacey, who
Right.
tragically passed. Man, that was sad. I'm about to
Super
get into
sad,
the details of how he passed.
A
That
rough
doesn't
way to
matter.
wake up.
He was 24 years old. We're around that age range, so it's just tough to see. You know,
Yeah.
bro. Whenever they
Rough way to
said
wake up.
his birthday, his birth year, and his death year, but 2000 to 2005, that's crazy.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
condolences
wow.
to the family, and rest in peace.
Well,
Will
That's gonna be a
Campbell,
Tiger for sure.
I'm gonna go A.
baby arms,
A. For me, Will Campbell's the best
B plus.
offensive. Yeah, he's an best offensive lineman in the draft, in my opinion.
A minus.
I'm gonna give it a B plus, like Ja. Like I think it's a great addition, and I think with a young quarterback, this is probably the most responsible move. And with Travis Hunter gone, that's probably the best thing. But yeah, I'll give it a B plus.
Yeah.
It's a B plus, and yes, I do think that whenever I follow the Sean Payton rule of drafting. If you're gonna draft high, you don't break the mold. You don't go for the outliers, physically, and he's not physically a typical NFL tackle. Of course, the tape says what it is, and I think he can start at tackle, but at 4, you don't want somebody that'll probably end up being better at guard. Which I think he'll probably play tackle this year. I wouldn't be surprised if they double dip and at some point in the future move him over to guard. So,
Yeah.
all right, Jacksonville Jaguars. What we looking at?
I give it an A
Mason
minus.
Graham, I like that as
A
a
minus.
B plus.
I give it an A minus. I just
minus, B
defensive tackles, unless they're the special defensive tackle, don't move the needle often. But you need a good defensive tackle in your defense.
Correct.
I
So
give
it's
it an A
like-
minus as well. And selfishly, I would want to give it an A plus because this is gonna help me do my next pick a lot better. So
I just want to say this. I think I actually want to up my grade a little bit because now that I'm thinking about it, like in that division, you got Jonathan Taylor, you got Joe Mixon,
Facts.
and so
That's
you
true.
need a run stopper.
Yeah,
So no, I
that's
up
true.
my grade a little bit.
and he's a bit of a combo because he can run stop, he
Yes.
can rush the passer.
Yeah. And
You
then
got Football
also
Walker on the right.
bringing him in
Hines
with
on the
Josh
left.
Allen too, and while having Josh Allen, that
Yeah,
And
that
Trayvon
could
Walker here.
potentially free up a couple double teams, especially if we come in wreaking havoc.
Exactly.
So,
Absolutely. And while they do need some DB help, it isn't as pressing of a need as in the middle. So
Facts.
yeah, great. All right, well, on
So,
to pick number 6.
Six pick is up, and because
Brady
again,
pick.
it is the way the draft order is set up. Whoever pick 1 will pick 6, pick 11, so on and so forth. So Jai is back up. He has the 6th pick with the Las Vegas Raiders, aka the Las Vegas Brady's.
Oh no, we don't need to tight end. So
Las Vegas Brady.
Guy.
listen. It's a couple of spots then I really want to go here, right? The Raiders, they don't have a number one wide receiver, a big X receiver. They have Pete Carroll. Tom Brady knows the value of having a good receiver. Man, Tedero McMillan would be great here. They also have poor back-end help, poor DB help. Yeah, they have Trayvon Murray, but I honestly couldn't tell you any of their corners. Their pass rush also sucks, but I don't think that this is a very pass rush rich draft. So after Abdul Carter,
Mad Max just got paid.
I mean, their defense.
Yeah.
The whole defense.
The whole defense is horrible. The offense is horrible. The offensive line is good on one side. I'll say that. They have Brock Bowers, who's a good player. They just signed Eugene Smith. And as much as I would love to pair Shador in with the Raiders, because I think that Shador, Tom Brady is his NFL goddad, basically. I think that his player comp, like if you had to find a good combination between a floor and a ceiling, I always had him as Geno Smith with a little bit more juice in the arm. So I do think that I would love to push Shador here, but I'm actually going to go Will Johnson out of Michigan. The big physical corner, Will Johnson out of Michigan, who I think is CB1.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's CB1. Those Legion of Boom defenses, they were capitalized by big physical corners, hard-hitting DBs, and I think Pete Carroll would love to have somebody that can plug and play right now. You have the big physical corner in Will Johnson that can help shut down that side of the field. And I think that a lot of the offensive players are kind of like B tier, which I don't think it's much separation between the middle of the draft versus like the second round and stuff like that. So I think they can make up for it on that.
Damn.
Oh, yeah, heck of a pick. What makes this interesting is a lot of the mocks out there have Ashton Denty going here, which I strongly disagree with. But a lot of the mock drafts have Denty going here. So let's see how far Denty falls in the JTS mock draft. The New York Jets are on the clock. So number 2 pick, T-Mill, is back on the clock at 7.
Okay, I got 3 picks right here. I was hoping Ja would make it easy on me. I thought Will Johnson was gonna fall out of the top 10.
I did too. Yeah,
I thought he was going 5.
Really?
So
Why? Yeah, why would Will Johnson fall?
I'm gonna tell when we give our grade. I'm gonna tell you why I thought he was gonna fall out of the top 10.
All right.
But he made it a lot harder. And with me being the advocate Justin Fields fan that I am, it's like, I don't really think you can miss it here. Obviously, the Jets, you have to go tackle or wide receiver. But I do think, especially with the division he's playing in, he's going to need some kind of protection. So I'm going Armand Membau. I hope I said that right.
Membu.
That's a good pick.
I was thinking of going receiver because it's like you need weapons, but them trenches, man. And the Eagles.
Yeah, this is a good pick because Justin Fields has never had a good offensive line.
He's never had a good offensive line.
And they just got rid of Becton, huh?
Mm-hmm. They got rid of him 2 years ago. But they did draft Olanu Fashanu last year. Yeah, which I love that pick. So now you got your left and right side.
And there was
Makai Becton, he resurrected his career with the Eagles.
But he plays guard now, though.
He was a guard now. He's a 6'7", 330-pound guard. That means you are useless.
Yeah.
He just won a ring.
The Chargers.
But yeah,
good pick.
Good pick.
Let's talk about this pick a little bit more.
Pick.
Or we'll go ahead and make the next pick Jackson and then talk about a little bit more.
Right. The 8th overall pick. I'm back up. I had number 3, so I'm at 8. I honestly, Tramel, I wanted you to pick.
You have a layup. You have a layup. It's so easy.
Jalen Walker, edge out of Georgia. So I'm going here.
What?
Oh boy,
that's not what I thought you were going.
That's not at all, bro. What the heck?
Oh, he was falling.
And
Jalen Walker.
He's not just an edge. He's a player. He's a football player out of Georgia.
There's an argument that Jalen Walker's not even the best edge on his team.
What?
There's I don't know.
Better.
Who'll be the other person?
Wait. Well, I might be
Michael.
tripping. Is he considered an edge? I might be tripping.
Nah, Michael is an edge.
Yeah, he's an edge.
Yeah, Michael's
I
an
like
edge,
him better. I think he's way more explosive to me.
He's a Georgia edge. Like they're
I don't
edges,
think
but
he's
they also play real
explosive.
linebacker.
I don't think he's explosive. I don't think we going with Jalen Walker Jackson.
Yeah, Jalen Walker, edge out of Georgia here.
Okay.
I just think that in a defense that you need a lot of holes. That defense pretty much outside of corner and really the other corner, they need a lot on that defense. They're fine up the middle, but I think you need somebody explosive in that division. You've got quarterback in Atlanta now, Michael Penix. New Orleans is a disaster, but you still would have who's that team in the South? I had a brain cramp.
Tampa.
Tampa's got Baker Mayfield, the best team in the division. You're gonna need somebody to get off the edge there. Like I said, Walker, if he's not an edge, he can go to outside linebacker. You feel a lot of holes there for a team that needs good football players. It's like Borski said, he's not an edge, he's a football player. He can play defense. So I'm not asking him to play corner. He can pretty much do everything else for you. That's why I went Jalen Walker Hill.
Yeah, I like him playing nickel corner too against Texas. So
you know what I'm saying? Like, as long as he's not playing outside corner, he can fill a lot of holes for you on defense. Why I went Jalen Walker here out of Georgia. With the 9th overall pick, Chris of CL Smooth Gaming gets his favorite team. He gets the Saints here. He gets to choose the future of the Saints in this scenario.
Come on,
Chris, you're up.
So okay.
Remember what you said? Head over heart.
Look, head over heart, buddy.
Head over heart. I'm head over heart. I'm not gonna bury the lead here. I'm gonna go with what I think the Saints should actually do in this moment. I'm gonna say Shedeur Sanders, and I'm gonna tell you the reason why. Here's the thing. I've been kind of like pretty clear about this in the past. Is that I didn't think the Saints should take Shedeur Sanders, but not because of Shedeur Sanders. Like I actually think he's the best quarterback in the draft. I've always said that. It's more about the Saints, how all the problems that we got. I'm just afraid that we're not going to give him the developmental needs for him to thrive and meet his full potential. Because I think he's the best. Like I said, best quarterback in the draft. So I
think y'all will only because of your head coach,
Kellen Moore. I don't know because he's a first time head coach. I don't know.
But here's the thing. I like him as a play caller. He may not turn the entire franchise around per se, but I would say y'all offense will be humming. Whether y'all get a quarterback or not, and I do like him getting his own QB because Dak had his best year under Kellen Moore. The Eagles offense looked his best under Kellen Moore. Although, granted, they didn't have a Saquon Barkley, but
my thing with this is that if I'm cool with the pick, I'm cool with Shedeur.
Had his best year under Kellen Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I'm cool with Shedeur if the team commits to him, like tear everything down and rebuild around him. I'm cool. I just don't think I know what the Saints are going to do because the Saints do this all the time. Is that they're going to draft him and then try to plug him into this retread of a team and say go win the division, and he's going to inevitably fail
and go 7-10.
Yeah, like
2 years.
Honestly, I get that, but I like some of the pieces that the Saints have.
That's what I was saying, bro. I think if you drop Shedeur right
some
now,
of the pieces y'all
they
have.
can win 9 games.
9 games is not going to win this division. I think.
Yes, it will.
No,
I think Tampa. I think Tampa's a lot
Tampa
better.
Tampa win 10.
Tampa won division with 8 games last year, some shit like that. Like you wasn't much.
No, it was not. It was not. Not. It's sad to say, but 9 games will win you this division. Because how
good has Tampa gotten since last year?
They haven't. They're doing the same thing y'all doing.
But see, that's the thing though. The Falcons, we swept Tampa. So
what's crazy is that the Falcons folded because they were the favorites to win the division. And they didn't. That was a fold. But then Kirk Cousins kind of sold y'all.
Kirk Cousins didn't live up to expectations.
Kirk Cousins sold.
And Raheem Morris didn't do anything to. There's a black coach we can slander. Raheem Morris didn't do anything.
Give him a year. He's only had a year.
Yeah,
Gerard Mayo had a year.
And to be fair, bro, they kind of like threw away the whole. We ain't gonna talk about that, but
I traded a third for Matthew Judon. Matthew Judon didn't do nothing. They had a sack the first game.
Before we move on, I just want to say this too. I only drafted Shedeur based on the Derek Carr news. Like now that Derek Carr is down, I think it makes sense to go quarterback.
Yeah, so you want to go with Will Howard? That doesn't.
Will Howard.
Jackson Dart.
No,
don't sleep on Dart.
I'm not.
That might be one of my. I think it might be one of my picks.
That 74% completion percentage. I can't ignore that.
All right, so let's get into it. We
Duffy.
spent 30 minutes on 10 picks.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. Duff's up with the 10th pick in the Chicago Bears, who have done a hell of an offseason so far. So let's see how Duff continues their offseason.
And they're about to have a hell of an offseason continuing to the draft, my brother.
This is
So
another layup.
you know what
Such a layup.
you know what I am about to do. So what are the fucking Bears known for? Ground and pound, just muscle, not this cute fancy ass shit, not this fucking, fast ass, quick ass running back shit. Nah, ground and pound, real fucking, in the cold of the winter type shit. None of that easy fucking shit. Struggle ball, real struggle shit. You know what I'm saying? And they need a
Your
wide
quarterback got nail polish on.
position to be able to change the culture around. And not only that, but they need someone that come in and help their quarterback, take some pressure off their quarterback, relieve some of that stress that he's under. Because I'm not the biggest Caleb Williams fan. However, I do think having some help for him would be beneficial. And I do think on the defensive side, they're solid enough in the things that they need on the defensive side. I think that they can get in the second round, to be honest with you. And they have a top-tier talent here right in the first round that fell to them. So they got to take Ashton Genty, man. They got to take Ashton Genty. To me, having a very quality running back to add to what they do. They have really good wide receivers. Adunze, he's going to grow into his own. And then DJ Moore, I think he's a really underrated wide receiver. Love DJ Moore. Mm-hmm. And then you have Cole Kmet. I've seen people take, the tight end Warren.
Tyler
for them a couple times. And they're like, I can see it, but I really think that they need a good, strong running back. And to be honest with you, I was going to give them, if Ashton Genty wasn't there and someone took him away earlier, I was even going to give him Amari Hampton, to be honest with you.
That's why I thought you was going to shake it up.
I really, really like him.
It's closer than what people realize.
It's a lot closer than people realize. Amari Hampton had nobody at UNC when putting in work.
Real shit. I really fuck with him, bro.
And we can just go in reverse order for the grades. We can go ahead and start on that pick. Ashton Genty, fellas, what we thinking?
B plus.
Okay. Gotcha. Shador, what we thinking?
A minus. I don't trust New Orleans.
I'm gonna say B plus because I don't trust New Orleans. But go ahead, yeah.
I'm gonna give it an A. I don't think there's anybody that y'all could have drafted better outside of Tyler Warren. That's the only person that probably would have.
If they commit to him, this could be really good for us. Like he could be the spark that we need in the city. So like
Jalen Walker. Where do y'all put that one? I know I put it B plus.
I like it, but
I love the player.
I love the player. I just don't.
I don't like.
I'm gonna say C plus. Yeah,
I'm gonna say.
I would have said you go get Tedero and McMillan. Bryce still doesn't have a receiver.
Yeah,
Xavier Legette is a little disappointed, and he seems like he's gonna be more of a weapon rather than a receiver.
The only reason why I didn't go receiver there is because we've been speaking about it all year. The gap between the second best receiver and the 10th best receiver is a lot closer than people think.
That's fair.
So I'm gonna get a very quality receiver on a trade back up into the first. I can get a great.
You don't have a second round pick because you gave it to Chicago.
Oh, you gave it up. That's true. You're still fine, man.
You do your homework.
It's easier to get a receiver than it is to get a football player at the defense. I'm also partial to defense because I coach defense, but I'm also partial to defense as well.
Hey, if you like a guy enough, you go get him.
Hey, that boy on the laptop.
There we go. Figured it out.
All right, got you. All right,
and now it's in order.
On. Oh, and finally the Jets pick. I get us A plus.
A plus, yeah,
absolutely. A plus. I think, and honestly, as a Patriots fan, I would hate for this to happen because that would mean the Jets are becoming a functional franchise.
The Jets are making sense.
If you can't get, the top guy, getting a guy like him, I think would suffice. And gotta say, like I said, Justin Fields needs protection. You need somebody who could help him out. Yeah. Especially because this is his last chance.
I don't like seeing the Jets dysfunctional. I like them being highly dysfunctional.
Why?
And that makes my heart happy.
All right. So picks 11 through 16. All right.
11 through 15.
Me with the 49ers. Man, this was a tough pick.
I would say possibly the
I ain't
hardest pick in the drafts.
I ain't gonna lie, because I don't know what they're doing with Brock Purdy. I honestly thought about taking a quarterback here. If Shador was to fall, to slip, he would have been on the list.
Really?
Jackson Dart, potential option. They lost I thought about going back in DB here because they did lose Javarius Ward. And Jalen Walker. That's another one y'all stole. Y'all kept stealing my players because he could have replaced Dre Greenlaw perfectly with Robert Saleh. But Trent Williams is getting older. They lost their backup left tackle. So I am going to go with... I want to go with Kelvin Bates Jr. because I know he's the better tackle, but I'm actually going to go with Josh Connerly Jr. out of Oregon. He's an athletic freak. Not in terms of size, but in terms of movement. He's built very similar to Trent Williams in that West Coast system. You need a tackle that can move the way that they're motioning their guys, as we can see with how, they do it with Trent Williams. They do it with Penei Sewell. You want those kind of smaller but athletic tackles. He has the arm size. He has good feet. Whenever he went up against Abdul Carter, he held him to 0 pressures. So, hey, I think this could be somebody that can get molded into the Shanahan offense. He's healthy, unlike the other two, Josh Simmons and Kelvin Banks Jr., so he can come and plug and play right away. I think this will be a great pick for them. And he's only 21 years old. So you have the oldest left tackle, combine him with the youngest left tackle, you're going to be good for years to come, especially if you're going to re-sign Brock Purdy.
Okay, good pick. With the 12th overall pick, we have T-Mel back on the clock.
Now this was probably the hardest pick in the draft because it's like they don't need a lot, but they need so much at the same time. However, I think with Dak being on the contract that he has, Jerry Jones is going to be like, hey, man, I done paid you all this money. You got to produce like a top-tier quarterback. So I think that the Cowboys will stay in-house, bring in another receiver to help. Not in-house, but in-state. Bring another receiver to help out Dak and CeeDee Lamb. I think they go Matthew Golden out of Texas.
Okay.
That's my wide receiver 1.
Mine too. Yeah.
My wide receiver 1.
Is that Matthew Golden?
I like it. Yes, bro. He's elite
explosive receiver,
No.
nice route running. Yeah.
I was asking to make sure I didn't have him on my board anywhere.
Yeah.
All right. The Dolphins is Chris.
All right. So for me, there was a couple directions I could have gone here. But I looked up the other day that the Dolphins are amongst the worst teams in the NFL last year when it came to pass rush. And I don't know. You're in a division with Josh Allen, Justin Fields. Whatever you think about him, I think he's still an explosive quarterback that you got to get on the ground. And then remains to be seen with Drake May. So I think
Whoa! How do you give third team Justin Fields more credit?
Wait, I said whatever you think about Justin Fields.
Whatever you think about Drake May.
Think about it. Look, Justin Fields is still a great athlete. We can never deny him that. We can't deny him that. And Drake May, he's only had a year, bro. And he showed some promise.
He's already better than Justin Fields, but go ahead.
Anyway, all right.
No.
So I think the safest option for him for Miami here is to go with Mykel Williams.
Fuck.
No. We like 20 minutes, so you can cuss now. We good.
Yeah. So Mykel Williams.
I didn't cuss like crazy the whole show. Especially
when I was watching Georgia last year, I thought Mykel Williams was a little bit more explosive than Jalen Walker, although I might be in the minority there. I
say he's a freak athlete. The part.
He's a freak athlete.
He looks the part, unlike Jalen Walker, as a pure edge.
And he's somebody I think is fast enough and explosive enough to go after guys like Josh Allen and Fields.
Agreed.
That ain't gonna work, but good pick.
Shitting me.
He's a man. Hey,
Damn.
Mikael Williams is a man, bro. He like what 6'5", 260.
Yeah, it ran
265,
like a 4.45.
Grown adults.
That's a man right there. I ain't gonna lie. That's a man.
Grown
That's
adults.
old
And I
school.
consider him at the pick for Carolina. I consider him at the pick for Carolina. He was in my list of 3. So far, shocking. Tech out of Arizona still on the board. Probably the guy most mock drafts will have gone by now.
Shit, no.
Very interesting. And spoiler alert, he would not be going 14th. Okay, so for the Indianapolis Colts here, you have a problem at literally everything except left guard, center, and running back.
Yep.
You have a problem literally everywhere else. Anthony Richardson completes 50% of passes against high schoolers. Look it up.
Damn. Yeah,
your receivers have more concussions than important touchdowns. Your linebackers can't guard running backs. Your corners can't guard tight ends, and your safeties can't tackle. You literally have a bad football team that somehow is winning like 6 games a year. So,
Shout
had
out
a
to
lot
Shane
of
Steichen.
different, huh?
Shout out to Shane Steichen.
Right.
Well, I mean, out of those 6
national
games, 4 of them come out of are in the AFC
come out of the
South.
South.
So,
Yeah,
so.
that's good.
True.
You probably get Jacksonville twice. You probably get somebody's bad. So
Tennessee,
yeah,
come on, like Tennessee.
Yeah,
That's 2 wins right
Hot
there.
take. I know this is not the
That's-
episode for it, but hot take. Jacksonville's winning that division next year. Carry on.
Okay.
I agree. All right. So I have a lot of different options here. I have tight end options. I have edge options. It was going to be Will Johnson, not going to lie. The Will Johnson pick was definitely coming here. But again, I love my defense. So I'm going to go Jahad Campbell, linebacker out of Alabama.
Ooh.
God, bro, come
Yo, no,
You
that's
are
a
the
great
worst.
pick, Jackson. That's a great pick.
You are the worst.
Bro, I hate y'all, bro. Y'all just took my
Oh.
top 2 picks back to back, bro.
No, that's a
I'm
great
gonna
I
go
pick.
love the
Jahad
player.
Campbell out
I
of
hate
here.
that pick. I hate that pick for them.
Yeah, I hate that pick for them, bro. Not gonna lie.
The whole team.
Zaire Franklin, EJ Speed, they have players at their second level. I would have definitely gone somewhere else.
I would have went corner.
I was going to go corner, but the only corner I valued at that spot was Will Johnson.
I
I
would've
So
would've
went
after,
safety.
so after Will Johnson was gone, I was
Forward.
like, okay.
Yeah, I would have went safety or Tyler Warren because he's still here.
Exactly. He would be good for someone, depending on whoever the quarterback. He's a good safety net for that team.
Exactly.
Build
Yeah.
build defense to go forwards. It's my logic.
This is the same guy that took Terrion Arnold at 9, by the way. The same quarterback. So
All right.
he got
one
his.
time.
Yeah, it's like
I had
he get
one.
Now it's 2 times. But go. All right. So in this round, Tramel, because we did the favorite team thing, Tramel, you have 2 picks this go around. So you have the last pick of this round. Who are your Falcons taking, buddy?
Okay. Most people would think that. Well, this is an easy pick. It's a really hard pick to mess up, honestly. Like, however, I'm stuck between a desperate need and BPA.
Desperate need, bro, because you be talking about this every
Head over
draft.
heart, buddy.
I know.
Head over heart.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell y'all what I'm thinking right now. I was thinking Jalen Walker or Mikael Williams will fall. However,
Neither one of those things happen.
they both got took. And if not one of them, Will Johnson. However, this draft is so edge rusher heavy. That's what's giving me like BPA. So I'm looking between 3 people right now: Mike Green, James Pierce, and Malachi Starks.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie. I like that if you did that. I like that if you did.
You can fuck up my board, please.
Real
don't fuck
niggas
up
I'm
in
about to
real
say-
phase. I'm going to Malachi Starks. I can't
I was hoping he fell a little bit
I'm not gonna
more.
lie, dog.
I was hoping he fell a little bit more.
I gotta
Yo.
go.
Oh, fuck you. Jackson, you still wouldn't go good because I was thinking of a 16.
He's too good to pass on. Like I like Mike Green. I don't want to be that team that drafts the lower level guy high and miss. James Pierce, he's fast. I don't think he's like size-wise. I don't like his size. I mean, yeah, he's 6'5", but he's only 245. So yeah, I'm gonna go Malachi Starks.
So just to speed this up, we're not going to do the grades.
I'm about to say, let's
Just
not do the
after you-
grades till the end.
Yeah, but it's cool to give a little spiel like how we've been doing after your picks. All right, so pick 16,
Josh
Arizona Cardinals. Oh shit, my boy really kind of ash right now. But my contingency plan for this pick, this was a very hard pick to make, because I was thinking of going edge here. It's an edge heavy draft, but they did pay Josh Sweat. They drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. last year. They have a great tight end. I like their running backs with Josh Connor and Trey Benson. I'm going to go defense here because you probably can't really name a corner. They lost Byron Murphy to the Vikings. They lost Patrick Peterson to age. Their only good DB is Buda Baker. So I'm going Jahdae Barron out of Texas.
That's a good pick. That's a good pick. So I'm back on the clock here. I have the Bengals. Probably my second favorite team. They're probably my second favorite team in the NFL right now. Shout out all my LSU alum. I should do the Bengals-like thing and pick Tet because for some reason when they have problems, they decide to fill it with receivers.
That'll be hilarious.
I just at this point they just keep drafting receivers and hope it's gonna stick. However, that's probably the only room that they have no holes in. And quarterback, of course, because they have Joe Burrow. The popular thing would be to pick offensive line here. I got stuck between offensive line and edge rusher, especially with Trey Hendrickson. Still having whatever he's doing contractually with them, but they're planning on paying
Sam Hubbard
him.
was cut.
And Sam Hubbard he retired. So Sam Hubbard retired. Trey Hendrickson's having a lot of issues. However, they have the worst offensive line I've ever seen in my life. And they have a terrible head coach because Zach Taylor deserves to be coaching like 2 second graders. Can't stand that guy. Honestly, this pick got hard for me because you guys didn't pick people I thought you were going to pick. I thought Josh Simmons would be gone. So in my head, I never thought I had to deal with Josh Simmons being there.
He can't play.
He is hurt. That's right. All right. So this makes it easy. I'm going with Green out of Marshall, the edge rusher. Mike Green out of Marshall, the edge rusher.
Ladies and gentlemen, Justin Jackson of Justin Time Sports After Dark is not drafted an offensive player. I think you only drafted in 2 mock drafts. You did 2 mock drafts. I think you probably only drafted 2 offensive players. But go ahead.
Hey man, I love my defense.
He's Bill Belichick for real.
I love my defense. I feel like if you keep the team from scoring, you can't lose. But also again, with Sam Hubbard retiring, Trey Hendrickson's in a contract dispute. There is no tackle right this second that would just be in love. If Will Campbell tumbled for some reason in the real draft, obviously easy pick. But with him not being there, Simmons is having all kind of issues with his body. Mike Green staring you in the face. He's got a lot better tape than Shamar Stewart. So I went Mike Green.
All right. Chris, you're up. And then follow that, Duff, you'll have back-to-back picks.
Yes, sir.
Oh, all right. Seahawks are an interesting team because they made a lot of moves this offseason. But none of these moves I thought actually made them better. So I thought about going quarterback because I don't believe in Sam Darnold. But I'm not. I'm gonna go receiver and I'm gonna take him off the board. I'm gonna take
Ted.
Yeah. I was about to say his
call
last
him
name.
Ted.
I'm not even gonna try his first name.
Yeah. Just call him Ted.
Yeah. So I'm gonna take him. A big guy, a big receiver who you could probably pair with Jackson Smith and Jigba and Cooper Kupp.
Yeah, kind of replaces that DK Metcalf hole. I like how
he's not as athletic as DK Metcalf, but that's it,
Yeah, but big X receiver.
Yeah, but Sam Darnold doesn't do well with. I don't know.
Good players.
80 last year.
I thought about taking Jackson Dart. I was very tempted to take Jackson Dart right there.
Shout out Jackson Dart still on the board, which I feel like I'm staring at the pick he goes. Interesting pick there.
Maybe. All right. Duh.
So that just complicated things. I'm not gonna lie. So for the Bucks, I could be completely wrong here. I'm not a draft expert, but I feel like the Buccaneers, to me, every time that I see they're picking a draft, is usually some obsolete, defensive guy that they end up
That's
picking.
facts.
They just start doing stuff, dog. I ain't gonna lie.
It's like they pick a guy. It's like, oh, he could be good.
The big guy that don't do shit, and then next thing
Exactly. Yeah, fast forward like a year or two
like
later.
3 years later,
a random nigga.
He's amazing, but like he's amazing not for them.
Correct.
Like,
so I'm gonna follow that same train of thought here, and I'm going to go defense. And I personally, again, I was thinking someone like Mike Green. I was thinking someone like Jalen Walker if they failed. But I'm going to have them take a chance on this nigga that everybody is thinking is going to be just phenomenal. And I personally believe in him? But I will give him the benefit of the doubt and say that the Texas A&M scheme is the fact that they don't let them rush the passer like other teams let the players rush the passer. It's more so kind of like apparently like stopping the run here and being more conservative with how they play. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and pick Shamar Stewart and let him see what he can be on the Bucks and see if he can turn into what people believe he can turn into. He's an athletic freak, and I think having an athletic freak out there next to Vita Vea, you got to worry about Vita Vea, and it allows him to play a little bit more free. So I think this could potentially be a good fit for him. Again, do I believe in him? But if Texas A&M truly does that to their players and they don't let them get after it, he could be unleashed in Tampa. So
this is a very Todd Bowles pick.
As a Falcons fan, I would love.
I'm going to jump in here as probably me and Chris are the ones who watch the most SEC football in here.
Yeah,
especially LSU. I've seen Shamar Stewart play a lot of football.
Yeah,
I've seen his face in the dirt a lot.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, okay, no,
athletic profile. He got the athletic.
He can rush the passer.
I agree with you, Jackson. But to be fair, a couple years back, if you remember, Myles Garrett was the consensus #1 overall pick, and the only issue that people had with him was motor issue, which we see is really not a thing anymore. So to Duff's point, it could be an unleashing moment for it to what I'm saying.
Not gonna lie. As a Falcons fan, if I see the Bucks pick and I see them draft him, I'm getting happy.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm excited. If I'm a Saints fan, I'm excited.
Yeah. But this could still be a dangerous pick, though. I'm excited because I'm like, I agree with Duff in a sense, but it could be a dangerous pick.
It can be.
It's going to be the same type of thing. Like, it's going to be a risk or reward type of thing with him. But I think at this particular pick, I personally think that they need some defensive line or linebacker help. And since y'all took the best linebackers, and he has one of the highest ceilings left of the edge rushers available, I'm like, fuck it. Take him, see what happens. And again, you have a Vita Vea, someone that is already going to be taking some of those, double teams here and there.
Yeah.
Allows him to play a little bit more free. So I think this is a good spot for him to kind of see what he can become. And that's what the Bucks be doing. Like, they take players like this.
Yeah. And that's also a good point. There was one clip that worried me about Shamar Stewart, and that's when I was out of Shamar Stewart. Borski has made every baby joke, dinosaur arm, midget arm joke he can possibly make about Will Campbell. See? He's got him like ready to go. Shamar Stewart tried a stab move, which for those of you who don't do D-line, where you stick one arm into the chest and try and use as much arm length as possible. Will Campbell simply grabbed that arm and put his face in the dirt. And I was like, I'm out. Like, you can't even use the arm length move on the guy with the short arms.
To his credit, Will Campbell is really fucking strong.
He is strong. Like, come on. Like,
Shamar Stewart has never had a season over more than 2 sacks.
At age?
He's never had a season with 2 sacks.
That's concerning.
Every year in college he's played, he's had 1.5 sacks.
That's very concerning.
First year he played 12 games. The next year he played 13. The next year he played 12. I am cool. 37 career games as an edge rusher,
And you have five and a
one
half
half
I'm with you, Terrell. I'm with you. But I just think at this particular time,
You know what's
That-
funny is that some
I
mocks
get
have
it.
him a
I'm
top
not
10
mad at
pick.
it.
Oh God.
Go to the Saints.
Okay.
yeah.
Saints. We don't need him. We don't need him.
No, I honestly thought I was thinking I was
Nah,
like,
we good.
if I got the Saints, I will pick him for them because that's
Nah,
what you
we good. We good.
All right.
Dope.
Let's
What
move
you
on.
got
Pick 20.
going
Pick 20.
Broncos?
Okay, keep it rolling. I'll keep it rolling. So tight end was something that I would have picked for them if they didn't get whatchamacallit, Ingram. I fuck with Ingram heavy, so I'm glad that they got
That's a
him.
great pick.
That's a great
signing.
pick for them to me, to be honest. So I'm not gonna go tight end here, even though I think Tyler Warren he's really good. So it's like, do I want to? I feel like both of these options that I'm thinking in my head would help a good young quarterback, but I'm leaning towards one person. One person I think would be good because I think for their offense, not this year, but next year, I think it's going to change. So, but there's just one person that I'm just like, damn, in under that coach and with a good young quarterback, I think this guy gives them some juice. So my second player that I was thinking about Luther Burden for them, but I was like, that would be
That's what I was thinking too.
yeah, that would be cool or whatever. But say Sutton after this year he doesn't stay, then who's going to be your number one wide receiver? Luther Burden. Do I think he's a number one guy? Not really. I think he's a number two. And if Sutton leaves, I think you're just gonna have to go to the draft next year and get a wide receiver again. So I'm gonna go with Hampton here for them because I think that they need some juice when it comes to running back. To me, they haven't had a good running back in some years. Niggas tried it as much as they could with
Javonte Williams.
Philip Lindsay
Javonte Williams, bro. They tried as
Javonte
much as they
Williams.
could, and they just couldn't get shit out of them. So I think Amari and Hampton will be like a great pick for them again to support a good young quarterback, and I think Sean Payton will be able to get the best out of him as well. That to me, their defense is already good, but that just makes their offense like that much better. So,
and outside of Kansas City, their defenses in that division are not really that good.
Even Kansas City's defense is very.
Yeah, but Chris Jones.
It's a lot of Chris Jones and guys, and we saw that later in the season when Chris Jones was getting tired.
Lockett's had a good year this year, man.
I get it, but when Chris Jones got tired, that defense got average.
It did.
You can definitely punch Kansas City defense in the mouth. I think the Chargers defense, they played better than what they actually are. So, I think you can definitely punch them in the mouth too. And the Raiders, we talked about them earlier with that first pick.
And the Raiders,
the
Raiders. The best thing about the Raiders is how the stadium looks.
It's how the stadium.
All right, so probably the most interesting pick of the draft. Everybody probably expecting, hey, quarterback here at 21. I'm not doing that. The Steelers have not shown the ability to be able to develop a quarterback. I think it'll be a waste of a pick. I'm going to pull from the Justin Jackson school of just leaning on your strengths. A lot of the defense is good, but it is getting older. I think with the way the board kind of fell, you're good at wide receiver. You got Pratt Fire if he's good. This is a running back rich draft, so I'm not about to take a running back in the first round because the only 2 first-round running backs have already gone. It's worth it. It's already gone. So I was caught between a defensive player and an offensive tackle. They just drafted offensive tackle last year, but he was hurt. I want to give him a chance. And then they had the kid out of Georgia. I can't think of his name right now. Broderick Jones.
Yeah, Broderick Jones,
Yeah. He's not terrible. I think with some development, he can finally, get it going. The O-line wasn't horrible last year. I don't believe in drafting guards in the first round. That's just me. So I'm going to go with the way the board fell. I'm going to go with Walter Nolan. Cam Hayward is getting older. You need an interior pass rusher. You're good with TJ Watt. They're going to re-sign him because he's going to retire a Steeler. Alexander Highsmith is good. I think your DBs are fine. Yeah, I just don't think that a quarterback is worth it at 21, especially because you haven't really shown the ability to develop a quarterback. So, and it's not like you have a play team. So you might as well lean on your strength and then go get a vet that can kind of make up for your deficiencies.
Another Mike. That's a Mike Tomlin pick too.
It's a very Mike Tomlin pick. Like I said, he replaces Cam Hayward with Cam Hayward.
Yeah.
Effectively.
Yeah.
All right, the Chargers pick. T-Mel.
Tree.
It's a very easy pick. Being in the division that you're in, you have to score. I went BPA for real. Tyler Warren, Penn State. I can see him being similar to what George Kittle is for the 49ers. Chargers got a good quarterback. I was thinking running back, but it's a very, you know what I'm saying?
I would say it's running backs everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm surprised?
I thought about Luther Burden, but I was like,
yeah.
Quinn Johnson, cool. Y'all got Ladd McConkey, and Harbaugh likes to run the ball. I mean,
Tyler Warren's a great pick.
Yeah,
because he's a great pick and because he's a great blocker. But I would not be surprised if Harbaugh elected to go with his guy out of Michigan, Colston. He recruited him.
Yeah, that was my second guy for them. It was either Tyler Warren or the guy from
Colston Loveland.
Yeah, but I think Tyler is a better pick. He's a better overall tight end. He's blocker.
The best tight
end. He's a weapon. You know, Colston is probably a better receiver,
right?
Tight end, but he's an actual weapon. So
Tyler Warren reminds me more of like a hybrid almost of Kelsey and what's his name? The dude who was married to Kelsey Plum.
Waller.
Waller.
Yeah.
Oh.
I will give Tyler Warren a lot of credit. Penn State needed anything down the field. It's going to Tyler Warren, and the whole stadium knew it, and you still couldn't do anything about it. Like they played. I think who they played on the road?
Notre Dame
game on the road. Notre Dame, and the whole stadium knows every third down it's going to Tyler Warren somehow.
And he caught it.
He caught it every third down. Like it was insane. It was like at one point he was being doubled, and it's like, yeah, it doesn't matter. And then,
All right, Chris. Packers.
All right, Packers. So I wanted to give Jordan Love somebody who could help him out because I think Jordan Love is a good quarterback that just needs help. And so I was gonna go Tyler Warren here if you had he not gone to pick before me. So with that being said, I'm going to go with the second best tight end in the draft, and that's Colston
Mason Graham.
No, I hate you. Colston Loveland, good pick.
So I'm gonna go with him because I think the every QB's best friend you could say is a run game, in my opinion.
Tight end.
The close second best friend is a tight end safety valve. Yep. So somebody who Jordan Love, whenever he's in a pinch, he can dump it down to, or get 10 yards there, here and there. I think what's
severely lacking. It was severely lacking on that team last year. You could see it because whenever Love got into a pinch, he just tried to force it, and sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. And so I think that really kind of did to me. All right, who got the Vikings? Jackie.
I have the Minnesota Vikings. Update: it would not be an offensive player. All right, so. This was an easy pick for me. This was actually, I really had two players in this spot here. I was going to go one of these two players, hopefully. Now, I had a couple other options, but I was really going to go one of these two players here. I'm going safety here. I'm not going to pronounce the last name, but Nick E. from South Carolina. If you're going to give a freak of nature to anybody, you give him to Brian Flores.
That dude's
a freak of nature.
That dude is a freak of nature, bro. Yeah.
He might be one of my favorite players. His comp is Derwin James. You already know how I feel about him.
If you're gonna give a freak to anybody, you give him to Brian Flores. He's gonna learn safety from Harrison Smith. Harrison Smith probably his last year. If you're gonna have a vet in the room with any safety, you give him Harrison Smith. He's gonna probably play a lot of special teams, a lot of slot corner this year. Brian Flores plays 3 safeties a lot. He'll probably be that third safety, that boom safety, and give Harrison Smith some relief over the top. So that's why I went with Nick from South Carolina.
All right, the Texas boy drafting for the Texans. What you got, Duffy?
All right, should I do the smart pick or the non-smart pick?
I like
It's
the none.
Houston. They're pretty smart. It's Houston. They're pretty smart.
Exactly.
I don't know.
That's-
Houston traded away a lot of the good players. Houston got rid of a lot of good players this offseason. I don't know how smart they are.
exactly.
Yeah,
though.
Houston staying at
That's-
CJ Stroud
that's
contract
the
extension next offseason.
That's one of the reasons that I'm probably gonna go with the smart pick. But I will say though, so with Tank, how he is right now, that nigga, great player, but that nigga be getting hurt. He be getting hurt like it's nothing because he's 5 foot nothing and he is a $102. So
I would say he's a buck nothing.
he's probably gonna continue to get dinged up here and there. So and they got rid of Stephon Diggs. So I'm tempted to go wide receiver, but I think when he's out there that Josh Simmons is a hell of a player. And I think that since they just basically gave away fucking Larry Tunsil, that they're gonna need some help there, especially with CJ kind of needing a bounce back year, and he was getting his ass whooped all year. Oh, whoa. Hold on. I thought this nigga got drafted. Oh, nah, fuck that shit. Nah, not Josh Simmons. Nigga. Kelvin Banks. Kelvin Banks. I thought somebody took Kelvin Banks earlier. Kelvin Banks for sure. I think he is a very good tackle as well. And he doesn't have the same injury issues that Josh Simmons has. And to me, I think you're essentially getting what you'd be looking for in Josh Simmons a lot faster. And again, he's a Texas product. I think that he'll do very well for them up there. I'm a big fan of Kelvin Banks, and he did a great job protecting a subpar quarterback in fucking Ewers. So I'm taking Kelvin Banks.
Well, yeah. Kelvin Banks goes 2 hours up the road to Mo City. All right. So, Luther Burton, the offense, crazy work. All the motion, all the side to side, the little shovel passes and shit. Guess what? You're not going to see it in this mock draft. So, why do I keep clicking that? I'm such a dumbass. I'm clicking the share screen instead of the actual screen. But I am going to take QB of the future.
Oh,
Jackson
Dart.
Dart is going to the Rams. I think that Sean McVay needs to start looking for a protege. I think that they're going to be too good to ever get a good QB in the draft. So I think you got to find somebody that's kind of like middling in there. Jackson Dart has very good traits. Good deep ball. He looks the part. If you know. He's
athletic.
He's athletic enough.
That's what I thought.
And I think that I think learning behind Stafford, similar SEC quarterback, big arm. He learns behind Stafford in that McVay system. You can get into a little earlier. So yeah, Jackson Dart is my pick here. I think that they have Devontae Adams, they still have Puka, and Sean McVay can turn sugar out of shit whenever it comes to wide receivers. So I'm not worried about that at all.
I've never heard that shit before.
You've never heard shit out of shit before?
I've never heard that shit before.
All right, Tree. Ravens with Lamar.
I'm not gonna lie, this is probably the easiest pick that I done had. I only put one person down, James Pierce Jr. He just fast off the edge. Unlike any of the Ravens edge rushers, none of them are panning out to be what they're supposed to be.
Yeah,
I think he's very explosive coming off the edge.
Is he? My keys?
He muted the camera, not the mic.
He's off the camera, not the mic. He's definitely not tech guy Duff anymore.
Thanks. That tech guy shit over with, buddy.
That boy done lost his touch, man.
He was the guy behind the chair. It's over with for that. All right, man. Lions.
It's Duff's pick. Yeah, it's Duff's pick. I'm sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
So I never thought the Lions would be a team that I'd watch a lot, but they were so good, so they were pretty entertaining. So I did watch them a lot. And the one thing that stood out to me was even before all their injuries on the defensive side, their secondary wasn't all that. Was never really all that to me. So I think the obvious,
Led by Terrion Arnold.
yeah,
Somebody's top 10 pick.
he's look. So my
One
thing,
time.
my thing here is that you got to go outside corner. You need help going. You need help on the outside corner. So I say you take old boy out of Texas, Brown.
Is he
What's
gone
his
already?
name? Was it JD Brown?
I think he's gone already.
Is he gone?
Yeah, he's gone already.
Who?
'Cause he-
Oh well, if he's gone, then
You
I'm gonna
talking
go.
about
Oh, Johnny Bear.
Yeah.
Bear,
Johnny
yeah,
Bear,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
he's
took
gone
him,
already.
nigga.
You took him?
Nigga,
Yeah,
I
he
wasn't paying
took him
attention. My
like
fault. But
early.
then, all right, then go Maxwell, dude from Kentucky.
Harrison.
No, you mother.
Now look.
Oh
I
my-
like this guy too. One blazing fast, super like hella fast. But he he was another technically sound corner that I feel like could develop into CB1. At the very least CB2.
Yeah.
So
That's my
That's
favorite
Yeah, Arnold's gonna be CB1.
draft. I'm not gonna lie.
I didn't
Yeah.
wait. When did we take? When did old boy from Texas get taken?
Early.
I took him at
About
16.
10 picks ago. Oh, yeah,
Wow,
about 10
I wasn't.
picks
I was
ago.
asleep. Okay, all right, cool.
Damn.
All right. Jackson, you got the
Alright.
Commandos with Jaden Daniels.
Another
His
one of
mom.
my LSU brethren. Another one of my LSU alumni. If this draft worked out well for me. Have my favorite team and two of my favorite quarterbacks. I'm gonna break the trend. The defensive
Three
trend is over.
quarterback. Drake May better be in your favorites, nigga.
He is in my top three. He's just three. All right, so
All right.
I'm gonna break the defensive trend. I'm gonna come off the defensive trend. If there's one thing that I looked at the Commanders and said, "My God, stop this from happening," it is Jaden Daniels getting bounced around like a damn ping pong ball. That shit was terrible. He was flying like a Looney
He's
Tunes.
150 pounds. That's never going to stop happening.
He was getting hit and just flying. Like at a certain point, I don't even know where he was getting hit from. He would just be in the air. Because of which, I'm going to go Gray Zabel, offensive lineman out of North Dakota State.
You can't go wrong with
You're
them
gonna have
country.
to, you're gonna have to protect him.
Yeah.
He's a guy that can play tackle or guard. I think ultimately he may pan out to being a guard, but their need on the O line is more of the interior than the tackle. So they basically just traded for Larry Tunsil. So if he ends up kicking in the guard, it's not the world's worst situation. You can protect that middle, have a really, really strong one side, or have Zabel balance out the other side by going to the right side at the Commanders here. Hopefully stop him getting ping pong balled. I was probably gonna pick Emeka Ibuka, but that was my other option there if Zabel was gone. But Gray Zabel, offensive line of North Dakota State.
Okay. And Duff, last pick of the draft.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. This is the situation that I would love to be in real life, for our team to be in real life, but I hate it as well because there's two people that I really like that are available, and we both need these positions. So, one, I will say, Chris, you took my favorite corner again in this draft. I love Maxwell Harrison. I think he would be perfect for us because we normally do run a lot of zone, and he is actually pretty fast as well. So if we have to play man, he can recover, and he's a ball hawk too, and he's not scared to hit, even though he's skinny. But my second favorite corner is going to be Trey Amos out of Ole Miss. I'm not saying I'm picking him, but that's my second favorite corner. And we do need a cornerback because Benford is our only option essentially right now. And it's Dane Jackson after that. So that is somebody I'm thinking, but Kenneth Grant is right there. And we do need a defensive tackle. And based off of what just happened to us in the playoffs and how the Eagles beat the Chiefs, I think adding someone of his size and magnitude would be great for us. And he can pass rush, he can stop the run, and he's quick on his feet, even though he's a bigger dude. And we normally don't go for these bigger defensive tackles. So I think I'm going to switch it up and just go for a bigger defensive tackle in Kenneth Grant. Someone that can complement Ed Oliver very nicely. It allows him to play a little bit more free as well, because Ed Oliver is normally like someone who I don't think he's number one defensive tackle. I think he's a very good number two.
Yeah.
So
Got you.
I'm gonna get Kenneth Grant again and hope and get a cornerback in the second round. And honestly, again, I would trade up. Like I was talking to y'all, I would trade up to get Trey Amos early in the second round, because since Maxwell Harrison's gone, it's Trey Amos, maybe Darian Porter, and then after that it gets kind of spooky.
Yeah.
Can't wait for Kenneth Grant to get his face put in the dirt by Cole Strange twice a year.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, we'll see.
all right, fellas. So what I want to do, because there's an odd number of us, I want us to do these last two picks as a consensus. Two best teams in the league. What are we thinking here? We're in the war room. Chiefs are on the clock. We just lost the Super Bowl. We lost our top left guard. Got our ass whooped by the Eagles physically. Patrick Mahomes cut his hair. So it's serious.
Do the Chiefs have? I think we should go for like the best fullback in the draft. To be honest with you, I think they really need a fullback.
Honestly, they could. Honestly, they could really use a quarterback. That last guy's a loser.
They could really use another nigga named Patrick Mahomes.
Y'all funny. Y'all funny. The draft board looks like this. You got Luther Burden. You compare Luther Burden.
I think it's a Luka.
I think they're fine on. Yeah, they got. I think they're fine at receiver. To be honest.
Yeah, I think someone said tackle. I think Josh Simmons would be good here.
Simmons is beat up though.
Here's what I was thinking, and he's listed as a tackle in PFL.
Oh,
but
Jackson,
he split time at guard. Donovan Jackson is a very versatile. He can play guard.
He's actually, to me, the best lineman on that team. And I watched Ohio State play a lot. I was watching Jeremiah Smith mostly, but Donovan Jackson is the best player on that, best lineman on that team. They had injuries at tackle to Josh Simmons, so Donovan Jackson played tackle. He was actually going to be All-American at guard, and wasn't because he had to play tackle for Josh Simmons and made all conference at tackle.
What about
the guy's legit.
The guy out of Bama? The guard out of Bama.
Yo, did he go?
Oh,
has he gone yet?
Tyler Booker?
No
guard. Nobody took a guard.
They don't take guard. Well, I might have with the Patriots, but
Jackson took
a guard.
Jackson on purpose.
My thing would be either Simmons, the two Ohio State boys. It'd be
one of the Ohio State linemen, and I just think the Chiefs, whoever this pick is, has to play, in my opinion. And Simmons' body would bring fear into my soul the second I pick him. Like, I would have his doctor on speed dial.
You scared of his body?
Yeah.
Yes, terrified. Like, I would literally have, like, his doctor would be on emergency bypass on my phone.
Because they don't even know whenever he can, theoretically, whenever he can play.
Run.
Yeah.
They don't know he can run again.
Yeah.
Like, he couldn't really work out. He just pretty much talked. He walked around and talked. So, how about Donovan Jackson?
I'm done. Either Donovan
Jackson,
or Tyler Booker.
Yeah. Donovan.
I'll go with Donovan just because I don't know where they are at tackle. They're still trying to figure that out. So I think Andy Reid can do that. All right, and for the Eagles, fuck these guys.
What do they need? What do they need?
I don't care.
I'm the most annoying pick. So like it'll probably be a nigga like
they're gonna do something that piss me off. So it's gonna be like Donovan.
Yeah, exactly. As a Robert.
They did lose Josh Sweat. They did lose Josh Sweat.
They did lose Josh Sweat.
Oh
wait, don't call it.
And they lost the boy to the Patriots. Yeah. So they might actually go D-line here. So Donovan probably is the pick.
Yeah, I would say best defensive player available is probably who they're going to take. I do like Donovan as a rock.
How do they keep getting these edge? Look, I also think, I know we're not doing trades in our mock draft, but I think in real life, this would be a very suitable partner to trade back into the first round.
I think the Eagles and the Chiefs in real life are going to trade out. Put that on Front Street.
Yeah.
I think they make a trade with this is where I see the Patriots trading back in to go get the wide receivers. So
I think Eagles, Chiefs, and the Ravens are out of the first round. I just don't see what they need you can get and add another pick.
I don't see the Ravens trading out if the board fell like how we had it, if James Pierce is there. I don't see the Ravens trading out. Because
I can see the Lions getting out of there too.
Nah.
No,
But-
Lions, I think, need secondary help personally, so I don't think they trade out.
All right. Analyzing our draft, grading our draft. I'm about to pick this shit. No, sir, not me. How the fuck you got
Yeah,
this?
Jackson Dart in the first round.
All right. So this is a little.
That's a little photo, yeah.
Yep, of it.
Hey, don't forget to shoot that to my phone because I'm gonna post that later.
How the fuck? I don't know. I guess I'll just take a screen grab out of the recording.
You can download it too somewhere. It'll let you download it somewhere. But that's not important.
Nope, not this one. You gotta PFF. You gotta have a subscription. Oh, there we go. There we go. Download image. There we go. All right. So it's gonna be the thumbnail. All right, fellas. Well, I think that we had a very fun draft. Some very interesting picks. Not too many reaches. If I just had to throw some stuff at the wall, I think the Jihad Campbell pick, not even just Wesley Jackson, I think that was a reach just because of where they are at linebacker. But I can't hate the player. He's such a good player. I think I reached a little bit at Josh Connerly, but I think he's just a better scheme fit at tackle. That's just me.
I think Mason
any
Graham was probably a couple of picks too high. I don't mind the player, but I know I picked at Carolina. So if he was there at Carolina, I still wouldn't have picked him there. But trying to think San Fran, maybe if he was there at 11, that probably would have been a better spot for him, just scheme wise.
Who, Mason Graham?
Yeah.
Nah, I think Mason Graham.
Man, Mason Graham went right where he's supposed to go.
I think that was perfect.
Yeah.
And then Shamar Stewart. I hate that pick. I'm not going.
But I think that's actually going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. I can.
I think that's actually going to happen.
No, I'm completely with it, and I guarantee you, with 0 degree of uncertainty, the second I find out that they're picking him, I'm going to tweet the Bucks are idiots, and that's all I'm going to tweet.
Yeah,
that's all I'm going to say. I'm saying nothing else.
Player either. I could just see that happen.
I'm happy.
But other than that, y'all, I think we did pretty good here.
Solid draft.
Yeah, I didn't see anything else that was like, what the hell? It was all pretty solid.
Outside of my Falcons pick, I don't think that's gonna happen because I really do think we need an edge rusher desperately.
Yeah. And I think
Matthew Judon.
Can I say this? I was tempted. I didn't have the pick, but for the Eagles, I was tempted to go, believe it or not, Mason Taylor. Yeah,
it's not a bad pick.
I would have gone because here's the thing. Some people don't have him in the first round, but if you really think about it, who had Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the first round a few years back? And so you take a big body tight end and pair him with Jalen Hurts. Yeah.
I saw Nick Wright do that in his mock draft. I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, Nick Wright has Mason. I saw another popular guy. I can't think of his name. Had Mason Taylor as a trade-up guy. Somebody would sneak back in the end of the first round and pick him up at 31, 32.
He's a high floor. He's a high floor tight end, just not a high ceiling tight end. He doesn't have playability. He's
never going to be an all-pro.
He's
never going to be an all-pro.
But that's perfect for Jalen Hurts.
Catches. He's going to get 60 catches, 800 yards, and 8 touchdowns a year for 10 years. He's never going to be an all-pro.
Yeah,
but he's going to be a guy that unless
you're about to move on from Dallas Goedert, there's no point in getting him in the first round.
But think about it like this.
Financially, they're going to start doing something.
You don't need Jalen Hurts doesn't need Mason Taylor to be his primary target because he has AJ Brown, he has Devontae Smith for that. And so he just needs somebody who could look. If it's 3rd and 5, I need 5 yards.
That's facts.
Yeah.
Well, all right, gentlemen. Great draft, JTS draft. Jackson, you want to sign us out, buddy?
All right, this was a great JTS draft. Actually took a lot less time than I really anticipated. I thought it was going to be a 2-hour situation. So good job. You guys cleaned it up in about an hour and a half. I want to shout out Duff and Chris for being guests. Probably, but hey, the time was time, so it is what it is. Shout out Duff and Chris for joining the show, being guests on JTS. You guys are welcome on JTS anytime.
Appreciate it.
Of course, we always have Jai and T-Mail that are with us every week. This is your owner and host, Justin Jackson, signing out.
Oh, before we do sign out, this draft will be on our IMS Studios YouTube channel. We will be doing comparables. So we'll do a small little comparable video to how the actual first round shook out. Draft is next week at the time of this recording. So we will do comparable just to see how well we stacked up. I think that we had a very realistic draft. So we'll see how we stacked up. Of course, we can't account for trades and things like that, but I think everybody did well. I would say everybody draft grade. I don't think nobody really had a bad pick. Nobody really had a wild pick. This just isn't a good draft, if we're just being honest. So
it's a great draft. It's a deep draft.
Is it?
It's not top heavy.
It's not now.
No superstars, high floor guys, but yeah. Now you can sign up for real. Follow JTS Sports on everything.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Follow at JTS Sports on our social media platforms. Follow IMS Productions 2023 on Instagram for your production needs. And of course, subscribe to the JTS and IMS streams on YouTube. But, like I tried to do a few minutes ago, this is your host, Justin Jackson, signing out.
Yeah. Just in time sports.
Life is good. Life is good.
Look. This is just a town sports. Come and get your weekly takes. His opinion from the heart. He can never show you fake. If you winning or you losing, he gon' tell it to you straight. How we talking basketball without a Jordan Brown debate? If you got the hottest takes, you better come and make your case. If you win a couple games, he might even show you grace. JTS on every platform. We growing adaptation. Numbers going off the charts. We create the separation. Louisiana till I die is where I'm from. I can't replace it. Some people minds are obtuse, but I like to be adjacent. Giving my opinion like I'm Nick Wright or I'm Jason. ESPN better watch out cause I'm coming for the spaceship. We even tweeting on Twitter, you can meet us in the spaces. Highlight clips of sports news, yeah, you gotta embrace it. We never had it easy, we just came from the pavement. I might be controversial, but I like to make my statements. This is just a time sports, come and get your weekly takes. His opinion from the heart, he can never show you fake. Look, if you winning or you losing, he gon' tell it to you straight. This is just in time sports. Come and get your weekly takes. He gon' tell it to you straight,